Everyone thinks utilities are simple. You use power, you pay a bill. The reality is a labyrinth of subsidies, allowed profits, and infrastructure debt that determines whether your lights stay on. Here's the trick. Utilities don't operate like normal businesses. A water company in your city can't just raise prices whenever it wants, and it can't fail because citizens need water to survive. So government's created a regulatory framework that guarantees them a baseline profit, and here's where the money actually flows. Exhibit 1, the rate base. This is the total value of all the company's infrastructure: pipes, power plants, substations, transformers. A utility calculates its operating costs, adds a percentage return on that rate base, and that sum becomes your bill. If the rate base grows, your rates climb, even if efficiency improves. Exhibit 2, cost recovery. When a utility spends $50 million replacing aging water mains, it doesn't come from shareholder pockets. It gets rolled into the rate base and recovered from customers over decades. This isn't hidden, it's transparent. But it means your bill funds yesterday's infrastructure while you're paying for tomorrow's. The Regulatory Commission approves these capital projects and the recovery schedules. Exhibit 3, the allowed return on equity. A utility might be allowed a 9 to 10% return on its shareholder equity. That sounds modest until you realize it's guaranteed, not earned through competition. If operating costs run lower than projected, the company keeps the difference until the next rate review, typically every 3 to 5 years. That's the incentive structure. Exhibit 4, cross-subsidies. Residential customers often pay higher per-unit rates than industrial customers, intentional policy to keep water affordable for households while large manufacturers get volume discounts. This isn't accidental. Regulators mandate it. A single mom's water bill subsidizes a factory's operation. Exhibit 5, federal and state funding. Most utilities also receive grants and low-interest loans from federal programs, the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, for example, to finance infrastructure. These reduce the rate-based burden for new projects, but the utility still recovers whatever portion it finances itself through rates. The public funds the infrastructure twice, once through taxes, once through bills. Exhibit 6, the debt load. Most utilities carry substantial long-term debt, bonds issued to fund capital projects. That debt has to be serviced through customer rates. A utility with $2 billion in outstanding bonds passes those interest payments to ratepayers. This is transparent on regulatory filings, but it's rarely discussed in billing literature. The system works because regulators monitor it. Rate cases are public. Citizen groups can challenge proposed increases, but the asymmetry is real. Utilities have decades of data, expert witnesses, and legal resources. Citizens have public comment periods. The rates that emerge reflect both legitimate infrastructure needs and negotiated profit margins. Your bill isn't arbitrary, it's the output of a specific economic machine. So when you pay your water or electric bill, you're funding current operations, past infrastructure debt, future capital projects, shareholder returns, and cross-subsidies for other customer classes. That's not a flaw, it's the design. Utilities exist to provide essential services reliably, not to maximize profit like a tech company. The regulatory framework trades consumer protections for stability. Understanding that trade-off is the first step to reading your own bill like a forensic accountant. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe to see how the money actually moves in industries you thought you understood. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.